Thank you. Dear colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, congratulations on completing 30 years. You mentioned it. It gives me immense pleasure to be here today at the launch of a new initiative within NIAS School of Conflict and Security Studies under the International Strategic and Security Studies program. NIAS has been engaged in quality research since the last 3 decades and has come to be a truly multidisciplinary research institute, keeping up the name of its legendary founders, Jiri Tata and Dr. Raja Ramana, and Konrad-Adenauer-Stiftung is indeed proud to support it as a partner. The annual project on armed conflicts in South Asia is one successful project that CAS has supported since 2005. So we supported the project, not the conflicts in South Asia, just that you don't get mixed up. Nothing could have been more befitting for this 30th anniversary year of NIAS and the 50th year in India for the Konrad-Adenauer Foundation. As an academic subject, peace, conflict, and strategic security studies began in the aftermath of World War II. The first program dates to 1948 at India's Manchester College, but with times the whole arena of such studies changed as the world itself, along with its power dynamics in the post-Cold War era. The kind of conflict and violence and strategies and diplomacy saw a paradigm change. In that time, after the Second World War, that was also something like the founding logic of the Konrad-Adenauer Foundation. Since I'm in India, Germany has in the past contributed quite a lot to conflicts in the world, but if we do conflict studies, we can also find peace and conflict resolution models. Since I'm in India, and that's only since September, I've heard much more for different conflicts. They should have some kind of Westphalian peace agreement, like much more than I would hear that in Germany. So apparently that model is still something what can be studied, what can be applied. I'll give you another one. I said in the after Second World War era, there was for centuries animosity between France and Germany, arch enemies. Last week I was there with a delegation from India, with judges from the Supreme Court. We went also to Strasbourg, what is in France, in Alsace, one of the parts that changed several times between Germany and France. And we just crossed the Rhine River. There was no control, there was nothing. So we have 2 countries here, maybe also not in the best friendship in the moment. Could you imagine that happening from India to Pakistan without border control? Maybe in the near future. So we look in conflict resolution mechanisms to make that possible too. So they were surprised there's no border control? No, there is not anymore. And that is because we were on that conflict, not only between France and Germany, but between others also, and saying we cannot do it like we have done in the past. Waiting till one is stronger, then start to beat the other one who is weaker, and then have the recovery and do the same back. So a different model was asked, and Konrad Adenauer also stands for that model, to look for not only peace with France and others, but look for how can we develop for the future another model of working together. So the EU came out of that also by saying we need to somehow work together instead of working against each other. And it started also with an instrument, youth exchange between France and Germany, vice versa, so to understand each other better and whatever. Another model of conflict resolution. But conflict, peace, and security studies remain fascinating because they not only delve into some of the quintessential questions concerning human relations, like how conflicts arise and how and why security strategies fail, but also because one of the core questions such studies ask is how can conflicts be resolved and better security strategies made. To understand how one can change violence and violent episodes, scholars investigate explanatory and constructive methods. Moreover, they explore different ways in which people can coexist, make peace, and post-conflict solutions. This makes such studies interdisciplinary, comparing theories from psychology, social sciences, international relations, philosophy, political science, and other academic fields. Also, unlike ever-narrowing specialization that has occurred in most fields, the scope of such studies has expanded inexorably since then. From its international focus on understanding and preventing the roots of war and the spread of nuclear weapons, it now also encompasses the promotion of human rights, justice, individual rights, and well-being, and much more. All those last ones I mentioned are values the Konrad-Adenauer Foundation is standing for, and that's also why we support such activities. 60 years ago, security and strategy were widely viewed as the province of the international diplomacy, and the understanding of war was often presumed to be inseparable from military history. But now, we have track 2 diplomacy and a wide variety of approaches to understanding war. Security studies are now viewed in their broader sense as an area of focusing on a variety of threats and security aspects, not solely military ones. Thus, I take this opportunity to congratulate everyone who has been involved and will be involved in the future, initiating this wonderfully relevant, academically sound, and socially useful subject as a part of the curriculum of NIAS. I'm sure it will go a long way in producing quality research works and study reports. Concepts like peace have to be more than just a noble value, and have to be brought in the academic circuit, and have to be put under rigorous research. NIAS is onto this path already, and we at CAS are all ready to support such endeavors for a better world, of better international cooperation and harmony. In that way, I can only say, peace be with all of us.